In the heart of an ancient town where cobblestone streets wound like whispers through time, stood a church that had weathered centuries. Its stone facade, worn yet resolute, spoke of the countless souls who had sought solace within its walls. As the sun rose high in the sky, its golden rays streamed through the intricately designed stained glass windows, casting a kaleidoscope of colors upon the wooden pews. The air was thick with the scent of polished wood and the faintest hint of incense, a reminder of prayers offered up over generations. Inside, worshippers filled the pews, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the stained glass. Each window told a story of faith, depicting scenes of miracles and love, of sacrifice and redemption. The congregation sat in quiet reverence, their hearts open, each person lost in their own thoughts, yet united in purpose. Among them was a tapestry of lives, young and old, rich and poor, each carrying burdens that weighed heavily on their souls. At the pulpit stood the pastor, a figure of calm authority draped in a flowing white robe that caught the light like a beacon. His presence commanded attention, yet it was his voice that truly resonated throughout the sacred space. It was deep and melodic, imbued with a warmth that wrapped around the congregation like a comforting embrace. As he held the Bible, its pages worn and frayed from years of use, he began to speak of love, the kind of love that transcends understanding and expectation. Jesus loved us with an unconditional love, he declared, his voice echoing softly against the stone walls. He accepted suffering, humiliation, and crucifixion to redeem humanity. Yet through his sacrifice, he also demonstrated love through forgiveness, compassion, and companionship with the marginalized. The pastor's words hung in the air, inviting contemplation. He then turned to the story of the woman caught in adultery, a tale that resonated through the ages. In John 8, we find a woman brought before Jesus, her accusers eager to cast the first stone. They were ready to judge, to condemn, to uphold the law without mercy. But what did Jesus do? The pastor paused, allowing the question to linger in the hearts of his listeners. Instead of rushing to judgment, he knelt down, writing in the sand. What did he write? We may never know, but the act itself was profound. It was an invitation for reflection, a moment of grace amidst chaos. A hush fell over the congregation, each person envisioning the scene, the dust of the earth mingling with the weight of judgment, the tension palpable. Then Jesus stood and challenged her accusers. Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone at her. The pastor's voice rose with the power of the moment, filling the church with an urgency that stirred the hearts of those present. In that moment, he shifted the narrative from condemnation to compassion. He reminded them of their own humanity, their own flaws. As he spoke, the atmosphere in the church transformed. The light from the stained glass flickered like a heartbeat, reflecting the deep emotions of the congregation. Each person was drawn into the story, feeling the weight of the woman's shame and the relief of her redemption. The pastor continued, his tone gentle yet firm. Jesus not only forgave the woman, he protected her from condemnation. Go now and leave your life of sin, he said. He offered her a new beginning, a chance to start anew. The pastor's voice softened, inviting the congregation to consider their own lives. Today, he does the same for us. He loves us despite our flaws, even when society turns its back. He calls us to similarly love and forgive others, just as he has loved and forgiven us. The words resonated deeply, echoing in the hearts of those who had come seeking solace, guidance, or perhaps a reminder of their worth. As the pastor spoke of forgiveness, a palpable sense of reverence filled the space. The soft notes of an organ began to weave through the air, a gentle melody that complemented the pastor's message. The congregation, united in spirit, began to join in song, their voices rising in harmony. Lord, you have loved me with the highest love. The hymn flowed like a river, carrying with it the hopes and prayers of the faithful, intertwining their stories in a tapestry of grace. In that moment, the church became a sanctuary, not just of stone and stained glass, but of shared humanity. Each note of the organ, each word of the hymn, was a testament to the love that binds them, a reminder that they were not alone in their struggles. The harmonies blended with whispered prayers, creating an atmosphere that was both solemn and uplifting, a deeply moving moment that transcended the ordinary. As the last notes of the hymn faded into silence, the pastor looked out at his congregation, his gaze steady and compassionate. "Are you ready to forgive and love others as Jesus has loved you?" he asked, his voice now a gentle invitation. A moment of silence enveloped the church, a sacred pause where hearts reflected on their own journeys, their own struggles with forgiveness and love. In that stillness, the weight of the question hung in the air. Each person sat in contemplation, pondering the faces of those they had yet to forgive, the burdens they had carried for too long. The pastor's words had ignited a spark of hope, a realization that forgiveness was not just a gift to others, but a healing balm for their own souls. As the sun continued its ascent, the light danced through the stained glass, illuminating the faces of the worshippers. It was a reminder that, like the woman caught in adultery, they too were deserving of grace, of love, and of a second chance. In that ancient church, amidst the echoes of faith and the warmth of community, they found the courage to embrace the call to love, to forgive, and to be loved in return.